Hello everyone. In the previous class we started with factorization in the unique factorization domain, and we were discussing about polynomials in the unique factorization domain. Let's continue the discussion. So in the previous class we discussed Gauss lemma, which says if you are having a unique factorization domain and if f of x is a polynomial which is primitive, then f of x is irreducible over r of x, in r of x, if and only if it is irreducible in f of x. Now, we'll continue with that discussion. Let's move on to a theorem. If R is a unique factorization domain, then the polynomial ring R of x is also a unique factorization domain. First of all, you should know that unique factorization domain is nothing but an integral domain in which every element can be factored as product of irreducibles, and that factorization is unique up to associates. So that given R is a UFD, and we have to show that R of x is also a UFD. See, we knew that if R is an integral domain, then R of x is also an integral domain. Therefore, no need to prove that R of x is an integral domain. Now we need to show that every polynomial in R of x can be factored as product of irreducible polynomials. That is first part. And the second part is we have to show that existence of factorization is unique. So we'll prove that one. Now, see, since R is a UFD, let's denote the field of quotients of R by F. And let f of x be a polynomial in R of x which is non-unit. Now we'll prove R of x is a UFD by first showing that there is a factorization of f of x in R of x. Now you should note that f of x is a non-unit. Therefore, by earlier discussions, we knew that f of x can be written as content of f into g of x, where d is content of f, and g of x is a primitive polynomial. Now you should note that d is a non-unit in R. Then, since R is a UFD, every non-unit in R can be factored as product of irreducibles. So D is factored into pi 1, pi 2, etc. up to pi k, where each of them are irreducible in R. Now, you should note that R is subset of R of x. Therefore, D, which is present in R, is also present in R of x, and D is factored as irreducible in R. The same factorization holds good in R of x. Therefore, these are irreducibles in R of x also, and D has been factored into irreducibles in R of x also. Now, we should move on to next. See, we should note that here g of x is a primitive polynomial, and degree of g of x may be greater than or equal to 0. But if degree of g of x is 0, then g of x is a constant polynomial. So g of x is a constant polynomial and it is primitive. We should note that if it is primitive, the content of that polynomial should be 1. So that means the constant term here which we are having, therefore g of x must be a unit. But here we need to consider that our f of x is non-unit. That's why let us assume that degree of g of x is greater than 0. Now since you should note that f is a field, hence f of x is a UFD, and suppose g of x is a polynomial in R of x, we should note that R of x is subset of f of x. Therefore, g of x is also a polynomial in f of x. But as f of x is UFD, any polynomial in f of x can be factored into any the polynomial can be factored into product of irreducibles. So, g of x, which is a non-unit, can be factored into product of irreducibles, say g of x equal to p1 of x, p2 of x, etc. up to pn of x in f of x, where p1 of x, p2 of x, etc. up to pn of x are irreducible polynomials in f of x. But by the earlier discussions, if they are irreducible polynomial over f of x, these can be written as some see, for example, Pi of x equal to Ai by Bi into Qi of x, where Ai and Bi are coming from R and Qi of x is a primitive polynomial of R of x. How? By taking the clearing the denominators and taking the content out. This we have done in the previous class. So we have written Pi of x equal to some Ai by Bi into Qi of x. In the same fashion, we can write P1 of x, P2 of x, etc. up to Pn of x. Therefore, G of x becomes A1, A2, etc. up to An divided by B1, B2, etc. up to Bn into Q1 of x into Q2 of x, etc. up to Qn of x. Now cross multiply so that you will get b1, b2, etc. up to bn into g of x equal to a1, a2, etc. up to an into q1 of x into q2 of x, etc. up to qn of x. Now take the content. So here b1, b2, etc. up to bn is constant, that will remain as it is, and content of g is 1 because g of x is primitive. So simply you will get b1, b2, etc. up to bn is equal to, these are constant, so they will remain as it is, into content of product of these. Remember, your q1 is primitive, q2 is primitive, etc. qn is primitive, and we know that product of primitive polynomials are primitive, therefore these are all primitive, therefore content of these polynomial will also be 1. So we are getting a1, a2, etc. up to an is equal to some unit into b1, b2, etc. up to bn for some unit u in R, because these are all primitive. Thus, now substitute these things in this. Therefore, we are going to get g of x as some unit into q1 of x, q2 of x, etc. up to qn of x. Now remember, qi of x is a primitive in R of x, and if it is present in R of x, then it is also present in f of x. But remember, your pi of x and qi of x are associates. Therefore, if pi of x is irreducible, qi of x is also irreducible in f of x. Therefore, qi of x is irreducible in f of x. Remember, now we can apply Gauss lemma. What your Gauss lemma says, if f of x is primitive, then f of x is irreducible over R of x if and only if it is irreducible over f of x. Since your qi of x is primitive and it is irreducible in f of x, hence it is irreducible in R of x also. So each of your polynomial q1, q2, etc. up to qn are all irreducibles. Now substitute this g of x in our f of x. What was our f of x? It is d into g of x. But d has been factored into product of irreducibles pi 1, pi 2, etc. up to pi k. Substitute it, and g of x, which is factored into u into q1 of x, q2 of x, etc. up to qn of x. Now u is a unit, don't worry about that. Now pi 1, pi 2, etc. up to pi k, q1, q2, etc. up to qn are all irreducibles. Therefore, we have obtained a factorization of f of x as irreducible elements of R of x. So we have proved there exists a factorization of polynomial in R of x. Now let's prove this factorization is unique up to associates. Now let us assume that the f of x has factorization of two types. One is this and the other one is this, where pi 1, pi 2, etc. up to pi k, q1, q2, etc. up to qn, pi 1 dash, pi 2 dash, etc. pi l dash, q1 dash, q2 dash, etc. up to qm dash are all irreducible elements, where pi I and pi I dash belongs to R, qi and qj dash are polynomials in R of x which are of positive degree. Now you should note that these are all primitive polynomials by the above discussion. So these are primitive polynomials. Now equate the contents. So this is content of, these are constants, these are also constants. So content of these into content of this, because these are primitive, these are also primitive, right? So we are going to get content of this is 1, content of this is 1. Therefore, product of pi 1 to pi k is equal to pi 1 dash to pi l dash. But remember, these are all irreducibles in R, and your R is unique factorization domain. That means any factor which is product of irreducibles must be unique up to associates. That means each of these pi I must be associate of at least one of these. So your k must be equal to L, and let's assume there is a permutation so that your pi I and pi I dash sigma I are associates. Sigma phi is nothing but one of these entries, 1 to L. So you're going to get pi I and pi I dash are associates. You know that by cancelling the contents, right now they are associates, therefore they can, we can cancel those, and cancelling the contents of factorization of f of x, we get q1 of x, q2 of x, etc. up to qn of x equal to q1 dash of x, q2 dash of x, etc. up to qm dash of x by cancelling these associates. So we can cancel this, remaining is this. Now see, you should note that qi of x and qj dash of x are primitive and they are irreducible in R of x, and by Gauss lemma they are irreducible in f of x also. And you should note that your f of x is a UFD. Therefore, any factorization of irreducibles is unique up to associates. Therefore, these two, that is n number of elements in this must be equal to this, that is n equal to m, and these irreducible polynomials must be associates of these irreducible polynomials for some indexing. So let's assume that qj of x is associate of q eta of j of x for some permutation eta belonging to Sn. Permutation means a mapping which is both 1, 1 and on 2 for some permutation. So in some way these are all associates of these. Therefore we have proved the factorization is unique. This factorization is unique because these are associates of these and these are associates of this. Therefore this factorization is unique, hence R of x is a UFD. This completes the theorem. Now as a corollary we had given, prove that z of x is a UFD, f of x1, x2, etc. up to xn, the polynomial set of all polynomial generated by x1, x2, etc. up to xn is a UFD for any field f, and if R is a UFD, then so is R of x1, x2, etc. up to xn. You should note that Z is a Euclidean domain. Hence Z is a UFD because every Euclidean domain is PID and every PID is UFD. Therefore Z is UFD. And we knew that if R is UFD, then R of x is also UFD. Therefore Z of x is also UFD. This completes the proof. Now, if F is a field, we knew that f of x is a Euclidean domain. And every Euclidean domain is PID and every PID is UFD. Therefore, f of x is a UFD. And we knew that by above theorem, if f of x is a UFD, then f of x comma y, which is f of x over y, is also UFD. So, by continue this, by applying induction, we can show that this is also UFD. In the same lines, we can show that this is also UFD because R is a UFD. This completes the proof. Now at given exercise, you work it out and show that this is not a UFD, but it is an integral domain. You know that if you want to show that it is an integral domain, you have to prove that this is a prime ideal. If you show that this f of xy by this is a, if you want to show that this is an integral domain, you have to show that the ideal generated by x square minus y cube is a prime ideal. Then this becomes an integral domain. And also you show that the factorization which exists in this polynomial, in this ring is not unique. That's it. Then it is not a UFD. Now let's move on to the next theorem. It is also called as Eisenstein's criteria for irreducibility of polynomials in Z of x. Now let f of x be an integer polynomial of degree n, and suppose that p is any prime number which satisfies the following condition, that p does not divide the leading coefficient of this polynomial but P divides all other coefficients including constant a0, a1, etc. up to an minus 1. But P square does not divide the constant term. Then this polynomial is irreducible over Q. So whenever the question was given that to verify whether the given polynomial, which is an integer polynomial, is irreducible over Q, we can try with with this theorem. Now let's see the proof. Let us write f of x as a d into g of x, where d is the content of f and g of x is primitive. We knew we can write in this form by the earlier results. And g of x, say it is a polynomial of the form b0 plus b1x etc. up to bnx to the power of n. And we should note that d is a content which is an integer, and your f of x satisfies all these conditions for any prime number p. Therefore, g of x must satisfy the same conditions for these also. Then only we can write f of x as d into g of x. Otherwise, these conditions will be violated. So your p does not divide the leading coefficient of g of x. P divides all other coefficients including constant, but p square does not divide constant term. Now, we have to show that f of x is irreducible over Q. But we know that f of x equal to integer into a polynomial g of x. If this is irreducible, you know that the degree of this is 0. So if you want to say this is irreducible, then the degree of this, I mean, you cannot factor this one into product of two polynomials. So you have to show that. That means your g of x is also irreducible. So f of x is irreducible over Q if and only if g of x is irreducible over Q. Hence, we can assume that because your g of x is primitive, let us assume that f of x itself is primitive. And we have to show that f of x is irreducible over Q. Let's assume the contradiction that f of x is reducible over Q. Since f of x is primitive, by Gauss lemma, we know that f of x is reducible over z as well. That's the alternate way in which we can use Gauss lemma. Because Gauss lemma says f of x is primitive, then f of x is reducible over r of x if and only if f of x is reducible over f of x. But in the other way, we can say that if f of x is primitive, then f of x is reducible over r of x if and only if f of x is reducible over f of x. So in that fashion, we are using this one because it is reducible over Q, that is the field of quotients of Z, which is Q. So if this is reducible over Q, then it is reducible over Z as well. So f of x can be written as product of two polynomials whose degree is greater than or equal to 1. Now let us assume f of x equal to c0, c plus c1x etc. up to crx to the power of r into d0 plus d1x etc. up to dsx to the power of s, where each of these coefficients and constants are coming from z and r and s are greater than 0. Now if you multiply these two and equate with f of x, then your a0 will be nothing but, if you equate two polynomials, you will get a0 equal to c0 into d0. But you should note that p divides a0, a1 etc. up to an minus 1. So p divides a0 implies that p divides c0 into d0. But what is your p? P is a prime number. Therefore, p divides c0 or p divides d0. What happens if p divides both of them? If suppose p divides c0 and p divides d0, then we knew that by prime number property, p into p square divides c0 into d0. But c0 into d0 is a0. So p square divides a0, which is a contradiction to the third condition. Therefore, p does not divide c0 and p does not divide d0 at a time. P may divide c0 or p may divide d0. For the time being, let us assume that p divides c0 but p does not divide d0. So p can divide one of them. So let's assume P divides E naught, but P does not divide D naught. And we should remember P divides C naught doesn't imply that P divides all the coefficients C naught, C1, etc. up to CR. Why? If it divides all of them, then P will divide all the coefficients of f of x, which is a contradiction because P will not divide all the coefficients. P can divide a naught, a1, etc. up to an minus 1, but P will not divide an. So P will not divide at least one coefficient. Let us assume that k is the smallest positive integer such that P does not divide ck, and P divides all other CIs, that is P divides C0, P divides C1, P divides C2, etc. up to P divides ck minus 1, but P does not divide ck. Now what is the coefficient of ek? What is the coefficient ak of x to the power of k? We know that ak is nothing but Ci into dj, summation Ci into dj, where I plus j must be equal to k. You multiply these two and equate with the coefficient of x to the power of k, that is ak. So if we expand it, if I is 0, then j has to be obviously k, so that I plus j should be equal to k. We knew this formula, we have defined earlier. So C0 into dk, if I equal to 1, then j has to be k minus 1. So in this fashion, if we expand it, if I becomes k, then j should be 0. So this is how you are going to get. And you should note that by the second condition, that P must divide all the coefficients which are less than n. And you should note that your k is the smallest positive integer such that 0 less than k less than n. So your k is a number which is less than n. If it is less than n, then P has to divide ak. So P divides ak, because P divides a0, a1, etc. up to an minus 1. That is any number which is less than n. So P divides ak. But your P is nothing but this sum. So if P divides by the property of prime number, if P has to divide this sum, then each of this must be divisible by P. Therefore, P must divide ck into d naught also. So P divides ck into d naught, and P is a prime number. Therefore, P has to divide either ck or d naught. But we knew that P does not divide ck as well as P does not divide d naught. So P does not divide both of them, but P divides this, which is a contradiction. Hence, our assumption is wrong. What was our assumption? That f of x is reducible over q is wrong. Therefore, f of x is irreducible over q. In this way, you can verify the irreducibility of an integer polynomial over q. Now, as a corollary, we are given if r is u of d and if f of x is a polynomial satisfying the conditions which were given in the Eisenstein's criteria for any prime number p, then f of x is irreducible in f of x, where f is a field of quotient of r. This is a simple following proof from the above theorem. Now, I'd give an exercise on Eisenstein criteria. You just work it out. Thank you.